Hello friends, welcome back to automationtestinginsider.com. So this is the third part of TestNG framework series, and in the previous video we talked about different annotations using simple script. So we talked about before suite, after suite, before test, after test. So these are the different annotations we have seen, and going forward guys, I'll create some more scripts, real-time examples where you can understand better these annotations. Okay. And today we'll discuss some more features of TestNG, like what are the different features, what are the different attributes which are associated with TestNG annotation. So we'll discuss about them. So here I have listed down all the topics, all the I would say features of TestNG, different things which I have which we are going to cover today. So first of all, we'll create a TestNG program. There we'll apply all our different attributes and different features. Okay, so we'll create TestNG program, and we'll discuss like what is an assertion and how to put assertion in your test case. Okay, so this is really important. So till now we haven't used TestNG assertion, and because validation is very an important part of your testing. So what how to put validation using assertion, I'll show you. And this attribute is really important, priority attribute. So this gives the priority to your test case. So the priority for this test method, lower priorities will be scheduled first. Okay, so we'll discuss like what is default priority of your test case and how to assign priority to your test cases, and what will happen if you give negative priority value. So we'll discuss about all these points, and this is really important for interview purpose as well. And there is another attribute called description attribute, so that so you can provide some description to your test case. And there is a point like yeah, what happens when a test method fails. So we'll discuss like suppose we have 5 test cases, in the middle if any of the test is failed, so what will happen. Okay, we'll discuss that. And depends on methods. Okay, so this attribute, the list of methods this method depends on. Okay, this is an attribute. And there is another attribute called depends on groups. Depends on groups. So probably we'll discuss this later on, at the time when we create testng.xml, when we discuss about testng.xml. Okay, when we run our program using testng.xml, at that time we'll discuss about uh, depends on groups. Okay, and we'll learn today like how to ignore your test at test level, class level, and package level. There is an attribute called enabled, so we can set two values, true or false. Okay, and there is an attribute called always run. If that is set to true, this method will always be run even if it depends on method that failed. So I'll show you how to apply this always run. Okay, and there is an attribute called invocation count, so the number of times this method should be invoked. So suppose you want to execute your test case multiple times, then we can use this invocation count. Okay, I'll show you how to use that. And at last we'll see how to apply @test at class level. Okay, so these are the different things which we are going to cover today. And I would request you, if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get the notification for upcoming videos. Thank you. Now let's get started with the first thing, which is create a testng program. So my Eclipse is already open here. So what I'll do, I'll create Java project. I'll give name testng demo 1 because demo is already present, so I'll give demo 1. Click on finish. So earlier you know that how to import jar files. So just right click on project, we have build path, configure build path, and from add external jars we have to import Selenium Java jar files. So just select all the jar files, and we have to select outside of libs folder as well. Click on apply and close. Now we have imported here all the jar files, Selenium Java jar files. Now we have to import TestNG jar files as well. So just right click again on project, build path, configure build path, and here we have add library. So just select that TestNG, click on next, finish, apply and close. Now our project is ready. So this in this src folder I'll create new package. I'll give TestNG package, okay, and click on finish. I'll create a new class. So if you go to my blog, okay, that is automationtestinsider.com, and you go to website. So here we have different websites. I'll take an example of this orange HRM application. I think it is already logged in, so we have to log out. Yeah, this is the orange HRM application. So this is open source HR management application. So today we'll take an example of this application. So here I'll create orange HRM test. No need to select public static void main, so simply click on finish. So what I'll do, I'll copy the setup method from previous class. So I think we have here the previous. Let's copy this, and we have to declare our web driver here, web driver at class level, and I'll give before class annotation to this setup method, because we are going to use only this test class, and this method will run before the start of this class, okay, before executing this class. So this method will execute first. I'll create one test here. I'll give name like launch URL or launch application. So what I'll do, I'll copy paste. I'll just remove the driver.get command from here, and I'll put it over here, and we have to change the URL. Yeah, so we'll use setup method only to launch the browser, okay, and maximize it, and later on this is the test method, launch app. So we'll navigate to this orange HRM site. I'll create another test, public void, let's say login test. Let me just go back to orange HRM, and here we have to inspect username. So we have name, text username, ID as text username, so we can take any one of them. So driver dot find element by dot ID, I'll put ID over here, and using send keys method we have to provide username. So here we have username admin and password 123, admin 123. So admin, and let's do for password as well. So this is the password, inspect password. Here we have name and ID same. So let's take this time name, This is the name for password field, and we have password 123, admin 123. Now we have to click on login button. Okay, so this login button has id btn login. So driver dot find element by dot id, I'll put this id and click on, we have to give a click method here. Okay, click operation. Okay, after login, what we'll do, we'll write some more test cases. So let me just log in into this application. So let's, after login, let's verify the current url and title. So we'll write two more methods here. Public void current url test. I'll give driver dot get. This will give you the current url. 1 second. We have get current url, right? Yeah, and I'll store in a string url like this. Okay, so guys, so far we have not covered assertion in our test right now. Okay, so I'll put later on. Okay, assertion validation points in our test case. Let's write another test case. Public void, let's say title test. So driver dot get title, we have method called get title. So this will give you the title of the page and will store in a string variable. I'll give title, and yeah, at last let's log out from the application. For that, I'll create method public void logout test, and yeah, for logout, what we need to do, we have to click on this admin, welcome admin, and here we'll get this logout option. Okay, so first of all we have to inspect this. So here we have an id welcome for that field. So driver dot find element by dot id, and I'll put this id over here, and we have to click on that. And after that we have to inspect this logout. Okay, so let me just quickly write xpath for this anchor tag, and text is equal to what text we have, logout. Yeah, so this is correct xpath. So I'll use that xpath, driver dot find element by dot xpath. So if you are new to xpath, then you can visit my previous videos on xpath, css, and some other locators. Dot click. Let's put some weight in between. Thread dot slip. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thread dot slip. Let's say 2 seconds of wait. We have to add throws declaration. This is logout test, and at last what we'll do, we'll close the browser. So we have let's say first public void, let's say tear down. Okay, and here I'll write driver dot close, and I'll assign after class annotation to this method. So our script is ready. So what we have done before class, this is the method setup method, and we have given before class annotation to this method. Okay, we have assigned. So this will execute first to launch the browser, and later on we have one test case to open the application, another test for login, another test for to test the URL, another test to test the title, and this is logout test, and at last after class method will execute to close the browser. So let's run this program. Hopefully it should work. Let's see. Browser is launched, navigated to Orange HRM, logged in into the application, logout, yeah, and at last close the browser. Now we'll see the results. So these are the 5 test cases which we have written. Test run 5, failure 0, skip 0. Okay, and if you refresh the project, so here you can see test output. So just expand that, and different reports will be generated. So we have email label report, we have 5 test cases, the time is given, start and total time taken, and this orange HRM is present inside this package, so that is given. So this is default test, we have not given any name of our test cases, so this is default test. Okay, another reports we have index.html. okay, here you can see, one second, yeah, 5 methods, 5 passed, 5 test methods and 5 passed. Passed methods show, so here you can see current URL test, launch application, login test, logout test, title test. Okay, and if you select this one info, there is a testng XML, testng hyphen customize suite XML. This is automatically generated internally. Okay, so probably in the next video I'll show you how to create your own testng XML file and how to run that. I'm sorry guys. Yeah, so this is testng XML file. Okay, here you can see class name testng.orange hrm test. So yeah, in the next video I'll show you how to create your own testng XML file and how to run your test using testng XML. Okay, so this is another report, and we have one more report, default suite. Click on that. Here you can see all the methods and time taken here. Okay, like total time taken at total time is 18 seconds, started date is given, date and time. Now what I'll do, I'll apply all the features, like let's put assertion first. What is, let's discuss about assertion and how to put assertion. Later on we'll see like how to put assertion in our test cases. Okay, so what is an assertion? So assertion determines the state of application, whether it is the same what we are expecting or not. So basically this is to put the validation in your test cases. Okay, so without validating your test case are I would say invalid, or there is no use of that test case. Okay, because we have to, it is only successful when we compare with our expected value, right? So suppose take an example of this one, this test. So we are launching the application, so first we need to verify whether we are launching the correct URL or not. Okay, or yeah, after launching this we have to validate some of the features over there. Let me just show you. So suppose we are launching this URL, so we should validate this username and password field should be displayed. Okay, so assertions are very important in your test. Okay, another definition is an assertion is used to compare the actual result of an application with expected result. Okay, and there are two types of assertion in TestNG: hard assertion and soft assertion. So I'll do one thing. I'll create separate video on assertion, where we'll discuss two types of assertion: hard assertion and soft assertion. What is, and we'll discuss like what is the difference between them. Okay, so let's give assertion in our test cases. Okay, so let's see the first test: launch app. Okay, so what I'll do, after launching this URL, what we need to verify, let's verify this image field like this. One second. Yeah, let's inspect this image. So we'll verify that this image is enabled here, okay, or displayed here. So to save our time, simply I'll copy the X path. Yeah, so this is the X path of this image. So simply I'll copy driver dot find element by dot X path, and I'll put the X path of that image here. And we have different methods. So here we have is displayed. I'll put it over here, and I'll store that will give boolean value. So I'll store boolean, let's say image. Okay, and how to validate that image. Okay, so we have assert class, and we have different methods in assert class. Okay, to put the assertion we have assert class, and these are the different methods. So I'll create a separate video on assertion, as I have said earlier. Okay, so we have, let's say, assert true boolean condition. So I'll say image. Okay, so this, if this is true, then this test case will pass simply. So we have put the assertion in our launch app test. Now let's put assertion over here after logging into the application. So let me just log in into application. Yeah, now let's verify this image. Inspect this. I'll copy the X path to save our time. Yeah, this is the image of this orange HRM. Okay, so driver dot find element by dot X path. This is the X path. So after logging into the application, we'll verify whether this orange HRM logo is displayed over here or not. Okay, so what I'll do, will we have method is displayed, you can give is enabled as well, and again I'll store in boolean value boolean, and image 1 I'll give. Again we'll put assertion over here, assert true one function we have, and image 1. Okay, so our two test cases are ready. What about the third one? Here what we'll do, let's say this is actual URL, right? What we'll get using this command will be the actual URL. and let's compare with expected one. So expected URL I can give like this. So after logging into the application, what is the URL? This is the URL. And double quotation we have to give. Yeah, and here I'll put assert dot assert equals. Okay, so we have different assertion assert equals method. Okay, so here you can get the string one as well. Okay, actual, what is actual? This is actual, and this is expected. Okay, so this is how you can verify URL test. And let's say this is actual title. Okay, this will give you the actual title, driver.get title, and we'll compare with expected title. So what is expected title? So let me just view page source. We'll see this is the title of the page after logging into the application. So here we'll give the title. Now we'll compare assert dot assert equals. Okay, and here we'll give actual and expected title. Okay, and let's put assertion over here, logout test. Okay, so once you log out, okay, your URL should be this. So let's verify this one after logging out. Okay, so what I'll do, so driver dot find, one second, driver dot current URL, get current URL, right? Get current URL, and I'll store in a string or let's say actual URL. Okay, and what should be the expected URL? Expected URL, this is the expected URL, and we have assertion methods here, assert equals. Okay, and we have to give actual and expected value. Now we put assertion in our test cases, so let me just run it. Login into the application. Now it will log out. Okay, now we'll see total run 5, passes 4, failure 1. Okay, let me just look into it. Yeah, so this current URL test is failed. I'll show you why it is failed. I'll give you the reason. Okay, why it is failed. The last one. Okay, and yeah, you can see in other this one. So this is how our test case is executed. Now let's talk about different attributes. So priority attribute. Okay, so you can see here our test cases are not prioritized here, right? It is executed in some order. So what is that order? So if you don't give priority to a test cases, it will be executed alphabetically. Okay, so yeah, here you can see comes first, so that's why this current URL test is executed first, and after that L and last T. So if you don't give test cases, I mean if you don't provide priority to a test cases, then it will be executed alphabetically in alphabetically order. Okay, so that's why this current URL test is failed. Okay, because that is executed first. Now we'll yeah, provide priority to our test cases. So what I'll do, I do not touch this class, simply I'll copy and I'll reuse it. I'll paste it over here, and yeah, let's give orange HRM test 1. And what I'll do to explain that priority attribute, I'll give this launch app test to test case 1. Okay, and we have login test as 2. We have current URL test, that is test 3. We have title test, I'll make that as test 4, test case 4, and this is test case 5. Sorry. So we have 5 test cases, and here we have given in proper order test case 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now let me run it, whether it will run successfully or not, because last time it got failed. Okay, now let me just run this. Logged into the application, and it will test title and URL and then log out. Now you can see guys, all test cases are passed. Total test run 5, failure 0, and this is the order this time: test case 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so because till here it is the same, and after that it will take this 1 2 3 4 5. So in this order our test got executed and successfully uh, passed all the test cases. Okay, so this is the default priority of our test cases. Like if you don't give any priority, then it will be executed in alphabetical order. Okay, and the next one is how to assign priority to your test cases. Even if you give this, let's see, let me just show you. Like even if you give this test case after before test case 3, even it will run in that particular order. So let me just show you. Yeah, here you can see test case executed in that order only: 1 2 3 4 5, test case 1 2 3 4 5, and here you can see also test case 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is the default I would say priority of your test cases. Now let's assign priority to your test cases. How to give? Okay, so in along with @test annotation, here we'll give bracket and I'll provide priority and I'll give 1 over here. Okay, similarly here I'll give priority to 2. Similarly for this we have priority to 3, like that. Simply copy paste this one. I'll give you 4, priority 4, and this I'll give 5. Now let me just run this. This is how you can give the priority to your test cases. You can assign the priority. Now we'll see the execution sequence. Now here you can see test case 1, 2, 4 and 3. Okay, why 4 for test case 4 comes first? Because we have assigned test case 4 as priority 3. Here you can see we have assigned this method, the priority of this method to priority 3. Okay, and this priority 4 to test case 3. So that's why they have executed in different order: test case 1, 2, 4, 3 and 5. Okay, so this is how you can assign priority to your test cases. And what happen when we give negative priority value? So let me do one thing. Let's give -1 here. We'll see what will happen. Okay, so this is interview question as well. So what will happen if you give negative priority to your test cases? The answer we'll see in couple of minutes. I would say a couple of seconds. Yeah, here you can see all test cases are passed. So let's see the order: 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. This is same as executed last time. Okay, okay. So here you can, here I have mentioned lower priorities will be scheduled first. So whether it is negative, positive or anything, so negative values will be executed first. Negative priorities values will be executed first. Okay, so this is how priority attribute works. And what is next? Description attribute. So you can provide description to your test cases. So let me just give some description to our test cases. So simply you can give comma, and you have one description attribute. Here you can provide what is this test case? This is to launch the launch URL or launch app. Okay, this is to launch the URL, launch the application. So here we'll provide description like login application test, login application launch app test, login application test. Third is title test, like that we can give. Fourth is, so you can provide description to your test cases like these guys. And yeah, URL test, verify URL. And this one, what I'll give here, this is logout test, logout test. Okay, let me just rerun this program again. Now we'll see the result. Here you can see guys, test case 1, this is the description, okay, which we have given in our annotation. Launch app test. Test case 2, what it says? Login application test. Test case 4 says title test, verify URL, logout test. So if you want to give some description to your test case, you can provide as well. Okay, So this is about description attribute. What happens when a test method fails? So let's say in the middle, if any of our test cases failing, okay. So let's say this is priority 2, priority 3. Suppose this is failing, so let me just fill this by giving some wrong expected value, okay. So here I have given expected title as orange HRM1. So let me rerun this program. So here you can see failure 1 passes 4, failure 1. So even if your any of the test cases failed, okay, it will continue the execution of remaining test cases. Here you can see first and second executed and fourth test case is failed, okay, because we are expecting orange HRM1 but found, and you can see the beautiful this one exception as well, okay. Assertion error, we are expected orange HRM1 but found orange HRM, but remaining test cases will be executed afterwards, okay. So this is about this point, like what happens when a test method fails. So it will continue execution. Depends on methods, so the list of method this method depends on. Now what we'll do, test case 3 and 4, see all these 4 test cases are depends on and only depends on this, or let's say these test cases like 3 and 4 are depends on this login test, right. So what I'll do, I'll create dependency between these two test cases, though they are not practically dependent on each other, but I'll use depends on over here, depends on methods. So in this way also you can give multiple test cases. So let me just give like test case 4 like this, and comma test case 1 like this. You can give depends on methods. For now what I'll give test case 4, this test case 3 depends on test case 4, like that I'll give. Or let's do reverse. Yeah, so test case 3, test case 4 will depend on this test case 3. So what I'll do, I'll put test case 3 only, okay. So this method, this test case will be executed only when this will pass, okay, otherwise it won't be executed. So for now when I run this test case, it will run successfully because this is, we are going to run this test case, okay. Let me just rerun once again. Oh, that is already failed, so we have to rerun it again. Yeah, we have to change this. Earlier we have uh, updated this, okay. So now I have corrected this. Now let me rerun this. So our test case 4 depends on test case 3, okay, because we here we have given attribute depends on methods. So all the test cases will run successfully this time. So here you can see all test cases will be passed. Now we'll see a scenario where test case 3 getting failed, okay, because test case 4 depends on this test case. So what I'll do, I'll put some value here let's say at last to fail this test case. Okay, now what will happen, we'll see whether this will execute or not, because this test case it depends on this test case. Let me rerun this. Now we'll see total 5 test cases, 1 failure, 1 escapes. Okay, so here you can see first, second are executed successfully, third test case is failed because of this one, assertion error. We are expecting this URL because we have changed the URL. Okay, but found this URL. Okay, and fourth is not executed. Okay, because method orange hrm test1 test case 4, okay, depends on not successfully finished methods. Okay, so it depends on this test case 4 depends on test case 3, sorry, this one, test case 4 depends on test case 3. So that's why this test case is not executed. Okay, so let me just change this to change back to the normal URL, the correct URL. Okay, so this is how depends on methods executed, and I have discussed earlier, we'll discuss depends on groups later on. How to ignore test at test level. Okay, so what we'll do, suppose you want to ignore this test case, let's say, yeah, this test case, let's say, yeah, let's ignore this one first. So we have an annotation called ignore, so we have to just give a top of this at the rate test annotation. Here we can give at the rate ignore. Now let me run this, and I'll remove this depends on. Now we'll rerun, so this case will be ignored. Here you can see total test run 4 passes 4, so that case is, we have ignored that test case. Okay, so here you can see only 1, 2, 3 and 5th test cases are executed. Okay, fourth one is ignored. Okay, so this is how you can use at the rate ignore at test level. Now how to use at class level. So simply what you can do, you can use this at the rate ignore at class level at top of our class, like this. So let's rerun our script, so nothing will be executed. Here you can see, here you can see total test run 0, passes, failures 0, skip 0. Okay, no test found, nothing was run. Okay, because we have given at the rate ignore at class level. So suppose you want to ignore all the test cases inside a test class, so simply give at the rate ignore at test level. And how to use at package level, how to use at the rate ignore at package level. So here we have package TestNG package. Okay, so let me try to give ignore here. Okay, and this gives an error. What is that error? package annotations must be in file package -info.java. Okay, so it gives an error, package annotations must be in file package info.java. So this we cannot directly apply this @ annotation here at package level. So what we need to do in our package, this is our package, right? So here what we'll do, we'll create package like this. One second, not here. Above this we have this src folder, right? So right click on that, new package, and here we'll select, one second, yeah, you can select here only, and package will select create package info.java, package -info.java. Okay, let me just repeat this. So we have to select that package, the package where we want to put @ignore. Okay, so just select that, right click, new package, and we have to create package info.java. So just click on finish. So this package -info.java class file will be created. So simply give ignore here. One second, @ignore. And we have to import ignore from org.testng.annotations.ignore. Now let me run this program. Now here you can see all cases are ignored because we have given @ignore at package level. So no test found, nothing was run. Okay, so here we have given @ignore inside package -info.java file. Okay, so simply I'll remove this. Now it will run. What is next? We have enabled true or false. So this is another way to ignore your test cases. So let me just ignore some of our test cases. Let's say you want to ignore this test case. This is at test level only. So what you can do, we have enabled keyword, enabled attribute, and here we'll give, no need to give double quotes because this will take true and false. So simply you will give true, let's say false. Suppose you want to ignore this test case. So we want to, oh sorry, this is for login test, we cannot ignore this. So let's ignore this one. Okay, so we want to ignore test case 4. So let me just rerun. So here we have given enabled is equal to false, run as testng dot testng test. Now you can see here 4 test cases. Okay, our 4 cases are executed. Test case 1, 2, 3, 5. 4 is not getting executed. Okay, here you can see because here we have given enabled is equal to false. Okay, what is next? Always run. Okay, if it is set to true, this method will always be run even if it depends on a method that failed. Okay, so let's say even if it is, if even enabled is equal to false also, it will run. So here you can give, one second, always run is equal to true. If it is true, then it will always be executed. Okay, here you can see, one second, fourth test case 4 is not executed. Sorry, this will apply only even if it is always run is equal to true. Yeah, because we have given enabled is equal to false, so that's why it is not getting executed. And what I'll do, always run is equal to true, and let's say it depends on method, test case 3. Okay, it depends on test case 3, and we'll fail this test case 3. Okay, let me just fail this. So here we'll give some, so even if it is, even if test case 3 is failing, though it will execute because we have set always run is equal to true. Yeah, here you can see 5 test cases are executed because third is already failing because we have given wrong URL here. Okay, and since this fourth test case is depends on third test case, but since earlier we have seen, right, if the previous method on which our test case it depends on, if that gets failed, then our test case won't be executed. Okay, but here since we have given always run is equal to truth, so this will be executed. And what is next, we have invocation count, so the number of times this method should be invoked. Okay, so let's say if you want to execute this test case multiple times, so what you will do, we have invocation count. Here you can give, let's say 3 times you want to execute this particular test case 3. So simply you can give invocation count is equal to 3. So let me rerun this. So here you can see 7 test cases executed. So test case 3 executed 3 times. Okay, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. So this is how you can use invocation count. And what is last, at the rate test at class level. So how to use at the rate at class level. So simply what you can do, you can give, instead of giving at the rate test at method levels, you can directly give at class level. So we have another class, this class. Okay, so simply what I'll do, I'll remove test at the rate test from all the methods. Okay, like this. Okay, and simply you can give at class level at the rate test test. So all the public method will be treated as at the rate test, will be treated as test methods only if you give at the rate test at class level. So I'll rerun this program. Here you can see 5 run 4 pass 1 failed, so that failure is because of order. So this is the first program which we have created at the beginning of our video, where we have not given the priority, so that's why the one test case is failed. But the concept is, when you give @test at class level, all will be treated as test methods only. Okay, all the public method. Okay, and yeah, so yeah, so we have covered all the points today, and thank you guys for watching this video. And in the next video we'll talk about, probably we'll discuss about how to create TestNG XML file, and we'll see some other TestNG features. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.